Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome. Let me make it public. Let me make it public. Let me make it public so everybody can share it on their page. Let me make it public. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How you doing? How you doing? Let's make it public. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. Let's make it public. Let's make it public. Edit. Let's make it public. Hope everyone's doing well, man. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing fantabulous. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. Let me make it public, make it public, make it public, make it public. We're having a little technical difficulties, but you know me. I will get it public. Boom. There it is. It's public now. Everybody can share. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardoui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardoui. And some people call me what? Little boy. That's Luka boy. If you're going all the way back to the 767, Whitey Kubuli, the Commonwealth of Dominica. Tall is her body. Dominica made me. Boston raised me. Now the South sustains me. Good evening, beautiful people. Good evening, man. Last week, we had a killer show. Mr. Keon Edwards just came and dropped dimes and gems. I mean, I got some great compliments about him. I shared it with him. Young man, he just turned 23 last July, and he's tearing it. This guy doing about 100 grand a month in business. But guess what? You can't bring the fellas without bringing the ladies. You know, right? I introduced you with Courtney Ruffin first. And then I brought Mr. Keon Edwards. So Courtney Ruffin was in Florida and Keon Edwards was on the ATL. But guess what? I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, man, I got LaToya Jackson. And no, it ain't the Jackson you're thinking about. She's finer. She's my business partner. I love her. She's an inspiration. But before we do all this, you know what? Some Dominicans are watching, right? I might give you guys a shout out in a minute. So you guys are watching. What do you guys know about this? What do you know about this, you Dominican people? Hold on. What do you know about this? This right here.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Não faz mundo de orquestra, meu bot no style cut no back, I'm a poison.
Chubby and Groovers! Yes!
Nous allons Martinique, nous allons Wélisé, elle a dit non ça.
Belle musique, la Dominique! Jacques Wabé! Yes, 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 yes! All right. Come on, H, stop this. This is not a Dominican party. I see people are starting to tune in. People are coming in. Let's just say welcome to all the beautiful people who are tuning in. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardoui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardoui. And some people call me Luka boy. That's Little Boy. You know Little Boy? Little Boy? You guys remember Little Boy? From the Commonwealth of Dominica. La Pointe to be exact. Dominica made me. Boston raised me. Now the South sustains me. Let's see who we got on watching tonight. Let's just take a quick look and give a shout out to some of the people watching tonight. Who's watching tonight? I can't see you guys. Let's see. Oh, Miss Delphina LeBlanc, all the way in Ottawa, Canada. Welcome. Miss Peach Goodwill working tonight out of Petersburg, Virginia. Welcome. Miss Robin Martin, all the way in the Queen City of Charlotte. Tabitha Green in the DMV. Maryland in the house. Felicia, how you doing, girl? Welcome. Mary Benjamin, all the way in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Gilles Odell, the chocolate queen. How you doing? Good evening. And there's some other people watching. I can't see who you are. If you don't say hello in the chat, I can't give you a shout out. Tonight, I got a superstar. I got a superstar. Someone says, happy Tuesday to I, main star. Oh my gosh. Is that my sister, Maina Bardoui? Oh my gosh. As a matter of fact, if Main Star is watching, my theme song is sung by this woman, and she finally gets to see it live, I think. And all the other beautiful people who's watching, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardoui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardoui. And some people call me Little Boy. We got ATL representing tonight. I am so excited. I got the superstars, the heavyweights. The ladies are coming. Ooh, man, let's get started. Let's get started. Who else is watching? Esther Duran Kazemi, all the way from the beautiful island of St. Martin. Welcome, welcome. Are you on the French side or the Dutch side? You always tell me and I forget. I think you're on the Dutch side. But whatever side you're on, welcome. And to all of you who are watching tonight, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. Just before we play our theme song, guys, tell somebody, like and share this episode because this woman is powerful, all right? I don't want to tell you too much about her right yet. But just before we do that, let's play our theme song as we start the program. Let's play our theme song. And this theme song is sung by a guest on Tuesdays with Terrence. She's been on there twice. She's a breast cancer survivor. She lives in the greater Atlanta area, Snellville, Georgia, to be exact. My beautiful baby sister. You guys seen her picture. She's gorgeous. She just celebrated 28 years of marriage. She and Mr. Warren Thomas from the vocal band Naturally 7. You guys need to go watch Naturally 7 on YouTube. Naturally 7. These guys are powerful. If they're when they're in your city, check them out. When they're in Europe, whether they're in France, London, Germany, Japan, whether they're all over the United States, check out Naturally 7. But this is my baby sister telling you, you don't have to be a star to be on my show. But guess what? Tonight I got a superstar. Here we go. All right, start it over. I don't like it. There we go. Miss Maynard Thomas, Point Michelle's own, a Point Michelle girl, my baby sister. Yes, breast cancer survivor. Woo, she's a superstar. I love you, baby. Maynard, I love you. Come, family, come.
Family, come as you are, with just your heart. And I'll help you win.
Are you rejected or hurt?
Are you rejected or hurt?
I can assure you.
Your worth, much more than you
I don't need no superstars, but I got one tonight.
No, I don't need no superstar.
I'll accept you as you are.
'Cause I'll accept you as you are. You won't be denied, 'cause I'm satisfied with the help that I can provide. You don't have to be rich family to be on my show. You don't have to have a million family to be on my show.
Boom. Does she sound beautiful? She sounds beautiful. She is beautiful. And she's telling you, you don't have to have a million to be on my show. ATL is representing tonight. Whoa, the Peachtree State. You guys, tonight, I got a very, very, very special guest. But just before we put it on, for those of you who got stuff in the market, right? Y'all, I always tell you guys, my clients sleep like this. Like babies. Because they don't participate in the market. They participate in the gains of the market. Zero is the hero. They hedge against their losses by talking to me. And tonight, you're going to be talking to a very special young lady who got some good stuff to tell you. Check this out. The Dow Jones was down 174.86. You all lost money. The NASDAQ was up 828. Tech stocks did a little something. And the S&P was down 1222. Future stocks are little change as investors look ahead tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what's happening. But I don't care about that. You know why? Because my clients know that zero is the hero. They incrementally grow and they never lose a penny while they use compounding interest, the eighth wonder of the world. Albert Einstein said this: compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight and a bunch of other financial literacy topics. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so impressed with this young lady. All right. Her name is LaToya Jackson. Someone had the audacity to ask me, was it the LaToya Jackson? And I didn't respond because I should have said, if I respond, I would say, yes, the LaToya Jackson from the ATL, my business partner. She's beautiful. She is caramel. She is smart. She is resourceful, and she's killing it. She is dogging everybody at our agency, and I'm so proud of her. She's a ring earner just like me, but she did it quicker than me. She went, I don't know. I don't know what to say. So what I'm going to do is, without any further ado, I want to introduce to you guys my business partner, Miss LaToya Jackson. But let me put her on and play some music for her because she's going to rise tonight. She's going to rise tonight. She's going to rise. There she is. Unmute your mic. There she is. There she is. Isn't she beautiful? Look at that. Oh, yes. She was made for this.
I was made for this.
I love it.
So many hard
times.
Thought I could make
She couldn't make it, but she's making it now.
I love it, H.
Her wings took flight. She rise. Man, she's too beautiful. You know what? Should I play it again? No. She, LaToya Jackson, the LaToya Jackson. Y'all are crazy enough to come on my page and ask me, is it the LaToya? Yes, it's the LaToya Jackson, my business partner. LaToya, you still got my coat? Oh no, you gave it to me.
I so thank you.
Last year, 2 years ago. What was it? 2 years ago? 2 years ago.
Yeah, probably about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in DC, Maryland, DC, and I had to give you my coat. Was it 2 years ago?
You were so gracious. Yes, you were gracious enough to loan me your coat. I still appreciate that to this day. Thank you.
Well, I gave you my coat because I wanted you on Tuesdays with Terrence. So I was sneaky.
It worked.
It sure did. Girl, how are you doing? You are so busy, and I'm so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give a shout out to everybody who's watching tonight in a minute, but I just want to introduce to you my special guest tonight, Miss LaToya Jackson. Earlier this month, we had Mr. Courtney Ruffin from the Tampa, Florida area. Last week, we had Mr. Keon Edwards. This week, we have, next week, we're going to have Miss LaVisha Davis out of Dallas. But this week, we're having the one and only LaToya Jackson. Miss Jackson, you doing good? You had a good day?
Hello. I'm doing amazing. Yes, busy day, but I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I didn't know whether to dance, laugh, what to do, so I was doing all of it.
Well, you did a good job, and I'm so excited because I was so excited and nervous when I asked you. I didn't even know if you'd say yes, and you're like, yeah. You're like, when? Yeah. I was like, man. Then you know how H is. I got a big mouth, but I love all my business partners. But you are just killing it. So tell us a little bit. Just before we talk about American Classic Agency, our agency, you know, the company that cares, and you know, the $1.5 billion agency. That's what our goal is this year. Tell us a little thing personal about you so people know where you are. You know, I have some agents down there, you know, who's studying right now. I want to set up lunches I'm going to pay for that you guys get to go, you know, when your schedule allows on the weekend. And I might come down. I'm going to be down there for a training for Money Tracks in October. So I'm going to try to see if I can get in touch with you guys around that time. But just tell us a little bit about Miss LaToya Jackson. I mean, where you from? You have children. What do you do? Just tell us a little bit about Miss LaToya Jackson.
Yes. So my name is LaToya Jackson, of course. I am my boy Courtney Ruffin. That's my boy. I am from Tampa, Florida, as well, born and raised. But I do currently reside in the Atlanta area, over on the Henry County side, Metro Atlanta area. Where I reside. And yes, I teach financial literacy and I love it. That is what I do. I have 2 children. I have a son and a daughter. They are both in college, both home right now, actually, though, but one's getting ready to go back now. But yep, they're both in college. And I just love what I do. And I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Wow, man. Wow. She's talking about she got a son and a daughter in college. She looks like she's like 21. She's like a co-ed herself. You know, but that's good. That's awesome. So, you know, you're a mother. You are a financial strategist, financial professional. You're licensed. And I keep saying beautiful, and you guys keep saying, there's a reason why I keep saying it, because usually beautiful people are not as nice as she is. But LaToya, let me ask you this though, because people are watching from all over the world: Canada, the Caribbean, Europe, yeah, in the North America, Mexico. But the thing about it is simply this: you came to American Classic Agency. Can you tell us a little bit about your plight at American Classic Agency? And then we'll get into the financial literacy stuff.
Yeah, like how I got into the business?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I was not looking for, I knew nothing about financial literacy. I knew nothing about life insurance. It found me actually. I was just going through something in my life at the time. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And God put that in alignment and showed it to me. And I thought, can I do this? And he showed me, yes, you can. And so I did. And when I tell you, it was the most amazing decision that I could have ever made, to go with something that I knew absolutely nothing about at the time, that I was not even looking for. It just came right in alignment to me, and I made the decision, and I never looked back. And it was the best decision that I ever could have made in my life. And I have been with American Classic Agency now over about 2.5 years, pushing 3 years now, about 2.5 years. Yep. And it has just been such a life-changing experience for me. So I walk it, I talk it, I breathe it, I love it. It is everything I do. I am so passionate about it. And I have been very successful in my business here. So I'm just over the moon.
Yes, she is successful. This girl, we're hearing an echo. Do you have two, LaToya, do you have two devices on?
I don't.
Okay, I was hearing an echo. I apologize, folks. Yeah, she is successful because this girl is killing it. All right. And first of all, I want to say this with her permission. She's actually doing this part-time. She's dogging people who are doing it full-time. She's dogging me. That's how powerful this woman is. All right. And I'm doing all right. But this girl is dogging it because she is such a preparer, such a planner. She has her voice, the way she talks to people. Maybe I need to change my tone. Maybe I need to get like Jackson so people will listen to me a little more. LaToya, we're in this financial literacy arena, and we're basically helping middle American families. At American Classic Agency, our mission encompasses three things only, and that's income protection, debt elimination, and legacy creation. And we'll talk about that, right? But this is what I want you to talk about, and I make no apologies for this. I remember years ago when I first got into financial services, I was always scared what I was about to say. But I want to make this very clear. I make no apologies for what I'm about to say. In our communities, people that look like me and you, people of color, sometimes don't listen, or they don't want to, or they sometimes think it's, you know what, this ain't for me, because they say the average American spend more time planning a vacation than they do financial literacy. What is it about our communities, Ms. Jackson, that you think that's very important for us to address at this time?
Wow. The most important thing, when you look at our generations, just over the course and the trajectory, there's such a lack of knowledge, not knowledge, but financial literacy knowledge in education in our communities. And it's because it hasn't been taught, right? We're not teaching it in our homes and to our children the way that we should be. It's because we haven't learned it. It's not something that they teach in school. Financial literacy is not taught in schools. So we're not teaching it to our kids at tables like other communities who have the knowledge that a lot of our communities just don't have. They're having these conversations, and it's just not taking place enough inside of our communities. And you're only going to grow to the level of your knowledge, no matter what it is, right? So that's the same thing with finances and financial literacy. Your finances are only going to grow to the level of your knowledge. And so the knowledge it's just not there. So that's why our job is so important, to bridge that disparity gap in our communities, to bring that knowledge, that financial literacy knowledge, to our communities, so that we can learn how money works, right? So we can learn how to put that money back in our pockets, how to have that solid financial foundation, how to have that wealth generation. All of those things have to be taught in our communities, unfortunately, have not had the knowledge and the resources to understand that. So that is why it is so important. Our jobs are so important of what we do as wealth strategists and literary teachers, financial literary teachers, to bring that into our communities, to change that trajectory of our communities so that it can look different in the future. But that, I think, is what it is. And that's why we're here.
Wow. You know, it's so important that you said that, because sometimes, I mean, our business partner, Ms. Lena Nehemiah, based in Minnesota, said this when she was on the show. She said that you may not have been born rich or wealthy, but you can change that trajectory and make sure that your family and the generations to come. Because in the Bible, in Proverbs, it says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. You know,
Absolutely.
so therefore we need to solidify that. Ms. Jackson, we want to say a special hello. Our president, Mr. Anthony Stewart, is watching. He's on. Mr. Stewart, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. So he's very proud of you. He knows you're killing it. Mr. Stewart, thank you for tuning in. Mr. Alvin Vasa. Mr. Stewart is our president of American Classic Agency based in Atlanta, Maryland. We're looking forward to being there next month. You know, I've already booked my stuff, so we'll see you then. I want to say hello to Mr. Alvin Vasa. Yeah, exactly. I know you'll be there. You're ready. Book your flight. Mr. Alvin Vasa in Petersburg, Virginia, who's studying to become an agent. Miss Esther Duran, we said hello to her. Tabitha Green, we said that. We said Mr. Tony Brown. Oh my gosh, downtown Tony Brown. Next month for Life Insurance Awareness Month, he will be on. He's watching tonight, all the way to DMV. Petra Cabon, George, in the Virgin Islands. Welcome, welcome. Also, Miss Elizabeth Bardui in Brooklyn, New York. I want to say welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. And so many other people are watching. I can't see all of you, but for all of you guys who are watching, welcome to the show. We're so excited that you are with Tuesdays with Terrence. My special guest is Miss LaToya Jackson out of the ATL, who is a financial strategist, wealth creator, licensed insurance agent, a mama, a businesswoman, a superstar, everything. You name it, she can do it. She was just our agent spotlight last week. Everything you expect of her, she's crushing it. And that is what we love about you, Miss Jackson. You're doing everything you're supposed to do and more. And I think Tabitha Green said, you're such a servitude attitude. And for that, we thank you. You just pontificated on financial literacy in our communities. And I know every month you're killing it, helping families. I mean, you have a ton of clients and you're building your portfolio by helping middle American families. When you meet with families, okay, what's one of the first things you talk to them about instead of going into talking about life insurance? And what are some of the things that you talk about families? So these people who are watching tonight, some of them don't live in this country, but they have families in this country who can share this on social media. People can contact you and talk to you, because tonight we're celebrating your success. We're celebrating you as a financial wonder woman, whatever you want to call it, right? In my opinion. So when you talk to families, what is one of the first things you talk to them about?
Yeah. So the first thing that I do with any client that I have, with any family that I have, the first thing I talk about is mindset. Because that is so important. It is a mindset shift, right? Because you have to think so differently than what you've been taught to think your entire life. And if you don't open your mind up to do something different than what you've been doing your whole life, then it's going to be kind of hard. It won't go far. So I have to open up your mind to see things a little bit differently, because when you look at the wealthy is 1%. So they're doing something completely different than what everyone else is doing. So you have to shift your mind to think differently. So that's kind of the first thing that I go on, and I teach them to start treating yourselves the way that we treat financial institutions. You have to treat yourself like a financial institution, like a business, because you really are a business, or you are a business. You are your own financial institution. So you should treat yourself as such. So I kind of teach a little bit on shifting that mindset, on treating yourself like a financial institution, and teaching how money works. It's about education on how money works, because people think when you put your money, inside of a bank, that financial institution, your money is not sitting there inside of the four walls of the bank waiting for you to come back and pick it up. That bank is giving that money lots of work to do. They're reloaning that money back out, 15% interest, 18% interest, 10% interest. They're making tons of money off of your hardworking money right now, where you're earning 0.01% on that same dollar. Why? Right? So it's teaching them how to start doing these types of things for yourselves, how to take that money. They're putting their money in asset producing vehicles, right? Where it's making money. They're using your money to go out and do the work. So I teach clients how to do that as well, how to remove that line of zero. Because when you think about the wealthy and what they're doing, they've removed that line of zero. So they understand how to make that dollar work 2, 3, 4 times for them, as opposed to using every dollar one time and going back to that line of zero. So it's about removing that. It's about shifting that mindset. These are the things that I educate people on, just a little bit of what I educate my clients and families on before we move forward. It's not talking about insurance. When you hear me speaking to clients, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you hear me speaking, it has nothing to do, you would never know that it's insurance, because I'm focusing on finances. I'm focusing on money and how money truly works. And if you want to change something, if you want a different result, you got to do something different. So it's about teaching clients how to open up that mindset to start taking a different type of action.
Wow, it's so powerful that you said that. Just before you came on, I want to tell you this. Like I said, I'm going to be in the ATL in October. Got to take you to lunch and also Keon as well. But the thing about it is, and the reason I'm going to be there is for money tracks. I mean, the circle of wealth. I basically finally, for how many years now? 2016, Douglas has been saying, you got to do this, Age. You got to. And
you have to.
2 weeks ago, he's like, sign up now, Age. But guess what? I did a seminar yesterday with them, Zoom, and then I got a discounted rate, and then I got a discounted rate for the boot camp in Atlanta. So I'm going to that. And you are correct. The line of zero, most people don't understand that. And people don't understand about OPM. We talk about OPM all the time. Like, what's OPM? You done with OPM? Yeah, you know me. Other people's money. And the wealthy are doing that. And we need to do that as well. And I'm so glad that you're talking about that with your clients, because sometimes people look, and I tell people, that's why if you go here, it'll say something like, we are not selling insurance. We're not, it says we help you acquire what you need. We are financial strategists, financial professionals. Yes, we use insurance to accomplish that goal, but it's not about insurance. If you don't understand how money works, there's no way you're going to take it to the next level, which is a great segue. But before we do that, I want to say hello to Miss Luana Luant. She is the LaToya Jackson of Dominica. She runs Finance Focus.
Amazing.
And powerful, just like you. She's been on Tuesdays with Terrence as well. And I want to tell her, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. Thank you for tuning in. I know there's a lot of stuff you could be doing right now, but you decide to listen to a counterpart and a colleague of yours here in the United States who's killing it as well. So congratulations to you as we celebrate Miss LaToya Jackson tonight. So Miss Jackson, you say people have to have a paradigm shift. The mindset has to change. So one of the things we talk at American Classic Agency in our mission statement is income protection. What would you tell the audience tonight, whether they're in Canada, Mexico, England, the Caribbean, I don't know, the Virgin Islands, because they're watching from all over. You got people watching from all over. What would you say to them about income protection in your own terms or your own words? What would you say?
It is so important, because when you really think about it, most Americans, most families, most people are only one catastrophe away from broke. You're only one bad thing happening from broke. one job loss, one loss of a loved one, spouse, one illness coming in. You know how expensive it is to be sick? Very expensive. So most people don't prepare for it, even though we know we're one catastrophe away from broke. No one prepares for it. So it is so important to understand your entity, right? If you are making, you know, $100,000 a year, $600,000 worth of insurance is not enough.
Preach.
Most Americans are either underinsured, or especially our communities, underinsured or not insured at all, right? So you might think, oh, I have $600,000 worth. That's nothing, right? If you have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and God forbid you get hit by a bus tomorrow, okay, and if you're living off of $100,000 a year, that's 6 years. So now this child is 8 and 10. Then what, right? So we really, really, really got to go back and look, and you have to understand that you are a $1 million entity. You are a $1 million entity. We are all $1 million entities. The average American making $50,000 a year in 20 years, that's $1 million. That's $1 million, right? If you make $40,000 a year in 25 years, that's $1 million. But where is it? How much of that $1 million have you saved, right?
Preach,
so we have to really, really look at. That's what what I teach, is showing you how to put this money back in your pocket, so that when you get into your retirement years, when you look at your financial future, you have a solid financial foundation and everything is taken care of. Do you want to look at a probability or do you want to make sure that it's taken care of, right? And life insurance is one of the only ways to guarantee that that future is going to be taken care of. When you look at, you know, your 401ks and everything else, all of these other vehicles that we have, yeah, you can make money, but you can lose money, right? So
right.
You're almost on not a wing and a prayer, but before you hit that age of 65, that market's going to take a hit, probably more than once, right? So what do? You're going on a probability, hoping that you have enough for your financial future, hoping that you have enough for your family, hoping that you have enough for retirement, a 40-50% chance hoping. That's basically saying, like, if you're going, we all travel, right? We all get on airplanes. It's like you going to get on an airplane today. You get on the airplane, you buckle in, and then the pilot says, all right, folks, we're about to take off. We're headed to, you know, the island, and we got about a 40% chance that we're going to make it. Are you going to fly on that plane?
No way.
But you're doing it every single day.
True.
You sitting right there, buckled up, ready to go. So, you know, this is what you have to understand, is financial literacy is the key, and having that income replaced. It's not just, oh, I have, you know, 203. That's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. So you have to understand how to protect that income, how to protect that legacy. And this is one of the things that I teach my families how to do.
And I'm glad you said that. You know, just before we continue, I want to say welcome to Maria Miami at our corporate down there in Florida, Contrite Heart, watching all the way to Tola in the British Virgin Islands, and also Lancy Delmar, my buddy there in New York. Welcome, J. Michelle Robinson. J. Michelle Robinson, you need to be on Tuesdays with Terrence, young lady. You know, let's make it happen. And everybody else who's watching, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. My special guest is Miss LaToya Jackson, who's dropping dimes and gems on financial literacy. She's telling you about mindset. She's telling you about protecting your income. And it's funny, we had a colleague who told me they went to see a client one time in the DC area, and the client, you know, looked like us and basically told them, the advisor, that I ain't leaving them $1 million. No, they don't need that much. And I was like, wow. So education is key. We have to start educating our communities. Based in Atlanta, they have the Housewives of Atlanta. One of the ladies, she used to sing with T.I.'s wife. I forgot the name of the girl. I forgot what her name is there. But she had a daughter who was in New York doing an internship. And I think, you know, for that show, she probably gets like $1 million an episode or whatever she's getting for that show. And people were upset that she was paying $5,000 a month for an apartment in New York City for her daughter, right in the city. And I'm like, right in the city, that's what it is. But you know what, though? Our counterparts are doing the same thing. they will set up their kids to be able to brace those opportunities and grab the bull by the horn and do it. And we need to change our mindset so we can do it as well. So I tell people, I was talking to my daughter who lives close to you, and she goes to grad school at Morehouse. And I was telling her, and she has, an IUL, and, she's using infinite banking as well, and I said to her, God forbid something happens to daddy, your bills be taken care of. And I told her, God forbid something happens to you, your bills will be taken care of, because you put stuff in place. And we need, like I told you, what Proverbs said about a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. We have to make sure our kids understand, and you are doing that. And I applaud you. I applaud you for all these families that you're helping, because you said on a training one time that, you want to help everybody. The mother, the father, the kids, the grandkids, the cousin, the neighbor, everybody. And you are doing it. Everybody, like our president would say, everybody and lottie-dottie. You got to help everybody, right? So
that's right.
Check this out. We found out on your family bank, the U.S. debt's about $33 trillion with a T, 33 trillion. And there are people are watching right now, and they can't phantom $33 million, much as for $33 billion and then $33 trillion. The U.S. debt is about $33 trillion with a T. And you, Ms. Jackson, is someone who's helping our communities eliminate debt. We're not talking about consolidating debt. All right, that's for the other folks be doing that crap. We don't do that. Why don't you tell us how you can help people? And before we leave tonight, you guys are going to follow her, LaToya Jackson, on Facebook, but Instagram is where she's dropping dimes. You need to go on, and we'll find out what her Instagram is before we leave. But what would you want to tell the masses and all the people, especially African Americans and minorities who got kids who went to college and they got mortgages and student loans and credit cards and equity line of credits and consumer loans and car loans and bike loans and boat loans, all kind of loans? What are you going to say to these people, Ms. Jackson, since you have the answers tonight?
Yes. So it's about finding the areas that are corroding your income, the areas that are corroding your money. There's corrosion, right? And the things that are causing corrosion, 40% of the average American's income is going to taxes. 40% of the average American income is going to taxes. 25% is going to debt. Only 25% is going to lifestyle, and 10% is going to savings, right? So not a lot is going back into your pockets. So once you learn how money truly works, then we're able to help you and show you how to reduce those taxes, how to eliminate that debt effectively, not even having to come up with any extra additional money to be able to do it, and how to now put that money back into your lifestyle and actually put that money back into your savings, but an effective savings, right? So when you have money that you're saving and putting to the side, it needs to be somewhere where it's working for you, where it's going to be effective. There is something called compounding interest, and H spoke on it earlier. Einstein calls it the eighth wonder of the world. It's effective interest, right? It is the single most powerful financial function. You have negative effective interest and you have positive effective interest, right? Negative effective interest is what's making all that debt grow. Negative effective interest, because it is the single most powerful financial function. Banks know it, governments know it. That's why you pay it everywhere. You're paying it on everything you purchase, everything you do, you're paying effective interest on it. Your car, your house, the average American is paying over 30% in negative effective interest. But you get an 8% return on something over here, and you think it's taking you to the Holy Land, and you're excited for what? It's going right back out the door over here because you're paying over 30% interest. So you're not breaking out of that circle, right? You're not getting out of that rat race. You're not getting ahead of the game. So you have to figure out how to reduce that negative effective interest and how to earn positive effective interest. You have to cancel them out, cancel it out. And so that is what I teach clients how to do. And when I do the wealth strategies. So based on current savings and contributions, when you think about your current savings and your contributions that you're putting in to these places right now currently, when you really think about it, do you think that you're going to have enough to put you in a secure place later on in life? You know, if you had to stop working, if you didn't change anything and you had to stop working in 20 years, do you think you would be able to live securely for the rest of your life? Most people, absolutely not. So it's so important to understand inflation and have finances and funds in a place where it's going to combat the battle of inflation, right? And in these vehicles, that's how you're able to do it. You're able to combat that battle of inflation and learning, like you said earlier, H, on opportunity cost.
Yes.
Opportunity cost. And I love that you're getting that software, because that is so important. And it plays such a role in this, because when we think about interest, and especially when we look at the whole debt component that's eating up and corroding a lot of our money, people are so don't want to pay. You know, you don't want to pay it, so you're overpaying, right? You're overpaying.
Right.
You have all this interest, and you're saying, okay, well, I don't want to pay, you know, this additional $1,000 in interest, so you're paying, you know, $500 a month additional on top, overpaying your debt because you don't want to pay $500 in interest. But you have to think of opportunity costs to say, well, what could this $500 a month, what could I have made off of that $500 a month? That is how the wealthy think. They don't think about what something costs them. They think about what it's going to make them. So who cares if I had to pay additional $1,000 in interest if I sat over here and I made $20,000 because I redirected those inefficient dollars to make them efficient dollars. So now I made $20,000 instead of throwing that $500 a month away and have nothing to show for it, but you got out of debt because you were so worried about saving that $1,000 in interest, right? So you're losing out on that opportunity cost. So all of these things work together within that, and it's just learning it.
You know, just before I say something to you, I want to say welcome. I think my niece is watching, soon to be Dr. Jaleesa Ansam, watching all the way in Massachusetts. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. And all the other people who are watching tonight, welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. You know, my special guest is Miss LaToya Jackson, the LaToya Jackson, the only LaToya Jackson I think I want to know. And anybody ask me otherwise, yes, she's the real LaToya Jackson. And she is here dropping dimes and dropping gems on financial literacy. You know, LaToya, I was talking to a client last Wednesday, as a matter of fact, doing our Get Out of Debt presentation. And I was asking the client, if you have a debt of $500,000 and you have $2 million cash in the bank, are you in debt? And the client was puzzled. You know, they're like, yeah, I mean, I said, well, you're not really in debt because technically you can pay. But I was trying to explain to her what the wealthy do. People hate Trump or all those other wealthy families, the Rothschilds, the you know, people upset with Biden, people upset with, I don't know, the Kennedys, people upset with Obama, whomever, you know, Rockefellers out of New York. All these people are using these concepts. And guess what? They are using OPM, other people's money. So if you have $2 million in the bank and you could use other people's money to pay it off, why would you do it? Even think about, I'm a big sports fan. Those of you who don't have Mr. Stewart watching, he's a Dallas Cowboys fan. But I'm a New England Patriots fan because I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, right? Since I was a kid. And when they were getting that stadium, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts gave them tax breaks. And all these big stadiums, even in D.C., I think, you know, the Commanders, now they used to play at they play at FedEx Field. I think they used to play in D.C. proper. But the thing about it is, if they want to move to D.C., they got to get all these tax breaks. So who's paying for that? Other people, the taxpayers. So it's the same thing with what we do. We try to teach our clients about using OPM, you know, and use that dollar more than one time, because they don't understand those concepts. When I tell people, they think I'm crazy, but we have to show them. So just before we go into our next segment, right? Because we only got 15 minutes left. I told you the hour goes by like this. But just before we go into that, Miss Jackson, you know, there's a lot of people watching, and I'm going to ask you people. I decided I was going to stop asking people. Good evening to Isabel, Joseph Carbone, and all the others who are watching. I was going to tell people to stop liking and sharing my stuff. But tonight, I take it back. You gotta like and share. This woman is dropping it. Because some of you, we can't help you in the Caribbean, but she can help you even in the continental United States. Some of you don't want to talk to me because I'm too loud and I'm too bold and I yell and scream. Well, listen to how she talks. You can talk to her and she will help you in the continental United States. So Miss Jackson, if people wanted to get in touch with you on Instagram because they see you on Instagram, I follow on Instagram, and after the show, I'm going to put her handle on Instagram. I should have put it up earlier, but I was so excited. You know, when you meet a superstar, you don't know what to do. I was like, I forgot to put it up. So how would they get in touch with you on Instagram?
Yeah, so my Instagram is at LN_resources. So for LaToya Nicole, it's L is in Larry, N is in Nancy _resources.
All right, at Instagram. And you guys, you can watch her stuff. You can follow her. You can DM and say, I want an appointment, And for those of you, I'm saying to you tonight, like and share this content, man, because like I said, I brought the men. Now I'm bringing the heavyweights, the women, because at my agency, 55%, I believe, of our advisors are women, and they're killing it, and she's one of them. And I'm so proud. Next week, we're going to have Miss LaVisha Davis on as well, and she's another heavyweight, super weight. Yeah. These women, I mean, they're making us look like, but we love them, and we support them. All right? Miss Jackson, we talked about income protection. You got to protect your income. Next month is Life Insurance Awareness Month. We got to talk about that. Tony Brown is watching. He's going to be on. Miss Perkins is going to be on out of Ohio. Miss Barker is going to be on from Ohio. And this,
yes.
I'm going to put it up there. Debbie Short. I'm going to text in our leadership thing tonight. Debbie Short, I need to get on the show. But the thing about it is this. Income protection, you talked about it. Debt elimination, which is a financial cancer, crippling all families, not just families of color, but all families. But then you just said to me, you have 2 kids in college, a boy and a girl, a young man and a young lady. What is your view on legacy creation? You got about 2 to 3, maybe 5 minutes. I'm going to give you a solo shot. Talk about legacy creation, what you're doing, what you think we should be doing, and what you think everybody, like Mrs. Stewart would say, everybody in Lottie Dottie should be doing on legacy creation.
Yeah, so that is so important because we are our legacy, right? And a legacy is something that does not die with you. That's something that has to continue going past you. So it is so important to prepare and put things in place so that our legacy can keep going even after we're gone, right? So that our kids and their kids and their kids can continue within that legacy. That is what makes a legacy. So it is so important now to get the tools, the resources, get the education and the knowledge and things in place to do that. And so with it, when you think about legacy creation, when you think about the wealthy, right? They're putting these things in place. And so anything that you do, it needs to be something to where it's combating inflation. And so with inflation, that is something that it's a way where you think about saving because you think you're going to save, and saving, you can't save your way to wealth. You can't save your way into a legacy. You can't save your way on a job. I mean, you can work a job is fine, but that job isn't going to take you to that legacy level or to that wealth level, right? So with that, you have to do something a little bit different, which is what we're talking about here. So there's no standing still. You have to have that money continuously growing and moving for you. And so if your money's standing still, you're going backwards. So it has to be growing. So it's either going this way or you're going backwards. There is no standing still. So anytime your money is not in a vehicle where it's not working for you, it's going backwards because inflation is it's probably at what, 3.2% right now. I believe that it is. And while it's at that 3.2%, you can have $1 million. It's not about, we already said, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep, how hard it's working for you, and how many generations you keep it, right? That's what creates that generational wealth and that legacy. So you can have money. We have, I've had doctors, attorneys. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You have a doctor that can be in debt up to here. It doesn't matter if they don't have that financial literacy and know what to do with the money, right? So it doesn't matter how much money that you have. It's what you're doing with it. You can have somebody who's an athlete that has millions of dollars go into an injury and go broke because they didn't know what to do with it. You can have somebody that won the lottery. These are things that people thought, oh, this is going to be, generational wealth. This is going to create a legacy. They win the lottery, and in 3-4 years, that money's gone because they don't know what to do with it. The financial literacy is not there. So you have to really, really be careful about that, because it really and truly is about how many generations that you keep it.
Wow, that was beautiful. But check this out. I'm going to put someone on the spot, Miss Jackson. Check this out, right? Well, I want to say welcome to my esteemed client, Miss Rosanna Massicott, watching all the way in New Jersey. Welcome. She just became my client. Well, congratulations. You got approved this month. Banking. But guess what? Someone's watching, right? I only have one person in the world that's a role model. Only one person in the world. We're not talking about God. We're talking about a human being. Her name is Miss Betsy Davis. Miss Betsy Davis is my sister. I have 6 sisters, and she's one of my sisters. But guess what, Miss Jackson? She just asked a question, but this is what I'm going to do. Check this out. She owns a daycare in Charlotte, North Carolina. And she's going to get mad at me when I put it out there. They're doing good down there. So what we're going to do is, Miss Jackson, why can't we come to your daycare and talk to your employees about income protection, debt elimination, legacy creation for the employees and even the owners of the daycare? So
absolutely.
And Ms. Davis says great info. She says, how do you combat in this economy? She's asking you a question. Ooh, and we're gonna come to your daycare and do a presentation. Miss Jackson, she will come. I will be there too. And she's going to do all this because I'm your brother. You're not going to listen to me. You listen to Miss Jackson. Better looking, smarter than me, and she got all the information. So Miss Jackson, Mrs. Davis is asking you, how do you combat in this industry? What would you say to her? And I know you can give her specific information. She says, give me a date. Miss Jackson, you're making more. You gotta make some money. Go ahead.
Yes, no, but it's all about a little bit of what I spoke on earlier. It's all about redirecting those inefficient dollars to make them efficient. It's not going out, and you don't have to go out and find more money. It's all about redirection. How are these dollars working for you? That's what we have to learn and understand. Make it work for you, and you can, and you don't have to be, rich to start, right? It's all about starting. And like we said, we can redirect it, because right now we said 40% of that money is going in, at minimum 40% is going into taxes, 25% is going into debt. So it's redirecting it into areas, reducing the taxes, reducing the taxes, eliminating the debt. And then we get to redirect those funds, because a lot of times when you're going to see a lot of financial advisors, they're going to tell you, well, you got to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Well, you got to, you can't do this. You can't do that. You need to, put all your money over here. And then you're sitting over there like, I can't even go out to dinner, right? So this is completely different. You're not having to go and find all this other, additional money to make it happen. All it is redirecting the inefficient dollars in those inefficient areas and making them become efficient dollars is how you do it. And like he said, I can do a whole presentation to show you how it is done. But that's truly what it's about, is understanding. And the wealthy, they understand how money works. They understand how to put their money in income producing assets, and they use other people's money. A wealthy person will use somebody else's money all day long before they touch their own, because they'd rather have their money somewhere else working, making more money, use somebody else's money. And I will pay you that, like when you think about an investment, if you go, do an investment on a property, on a home, a wealthy person is not going to use their own money to purchase that investment property. Their money is going to be somewhere else working. They're going to go get a loan from someone else, pay them the, 3,000, 5,000, 20%, whatever, because guess what? Their money's still over here making money. Now they made an additional 50,000, 100,000 on that property. Here's your $5,000 back from that loan. I just made money in 2 areas over here. So it's all about a mindset shift first. And then it's about getting a holistic plan together, which we help you with. We put a plan together for you, a wealth strategy together for you by taking a look. Everybody's different. So it's each individual person will have a completely different structure and plan. And then, show you how to redirect and make it work for you. And, even with I tell, all of my clients, I teach this on, additional stream of income. You don't, I'm not saying that you have to have a lot of money to get started, but in order to protect yourself a little bit, going back into the protection, you can have a W-2, but you also should still have an additional stream of income, which is that 1099. So that's amazing that you have your own business. I love that. Everyone should have their own something going on the side. Even if you have a W-2, don't rely on it, because let's go back to that one catastrophe away from broke, right? One thing happening. You cannot always rely on that W-2, but it's good to have it there, and they can go very, very, very well together. And I tell all of my clients, and I preach it, because, your job is, when you're working a job, you're just trading time for dollars, waiting on somebody else to give you what you already know that you deserve. And so, meaning when you're in a job and you're working hard and you deserve that raise, right? And you think you're going to get this much, and then you get this much. Or you think you're due for that promotion, and that, this other position you're going out for, you deserve it. Well, they give it to somebody else, right? So you have to understand that you're trading those time for dollars, and that your job, is what they pay you to do. Your job is a skill. Your work is a gift. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. So it's good to find your work. I'm so glad that you found that, and you're leaning into it, because that is so important to have those additional streams of income. I just wanted to kind of throw that in there. I kind of went off on a tangent, but
it's okay. That was a great answer. But guess what? This is what she says in the chat. She says, "Give me a date. I will invite my parents." And this chick, she has a waiting list at her daycare. So, Ms. Jackson, we going to Charlotte. All right.
Absolutely. I'm there. I'll be on a plane in 1.2 seconds.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna be your assistant. So we're going to Charlotte to talk to Mrs. Davis and her employees. So thank you so much. Time is running from us. We have about 4 minutes to go. And sometimes, when I'm running my mouth by myself on Tuesdays with Terrence, the time takes forever. When I bring a superstar, it's just running and running. I don't understand. So that's why people always says to me, man, you always bring, someone said to me, why is it that all the guests that you bring on are beautiful? I said, well, all my colleagues are beautiful, and the men are too. But sometimes I want you all to listen to me too. And sometimes because you're not going to listen to me, I bring in the heavyweights to underscore what I said prior. And that's what Miss Jackson is doing. Everything she said, I've been saying to you guys forever. My sister says, my baby sister says, I have girls mentoring group ages 12 to 18. Would love for you to do a financial literacy seminar for them, either in person or virtually, but it would have to be teen friendly. Oh my God. LaToya Jackson, my siblings, they don't listen to me. But they're listening to you. Praise the Lord for more blessings flow. LaToya, you see, that's why you're on Tuesdays with Terrence. So you can get the people I can't get. And I can't wait for that, because Maina, I told you, she sings, and everybody will hear her sing the closing song again. She meant voice in the ATL. And what we can also do, Miss Jackson, she's an elder at her church. Let's do a seminar. Her church is right down the street from Morehouse. Let's do they got a big church, and they're all making millions. Let's go do them.
Let's do it.
I'm the one who have to travel because you live down there. Well, we'll talk about that. But listen, guys, time is running out from us, right? And I just want to give Miss Jackson 2 minutes to make her closing statement. But just before we do that, I want to thank everybody for watching Miss LaToya Jackson tonight. Next week, we have another super heavyweight, Miss LaVisha Davis. I'm going to start promoting her right after the show and tomorrow as well. And then next month, we have a bunch of superstars coming on for Life Insurance Awareness Month. And in October, we have Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we got a lot going on. But Miss Jackson, tonight you hit a home run. People are hitting me up. People are saying stuff. And I'm so proud of you, because it's not that I don't think I can't do this. But the point is, sometimes the Bible says a prophet is not welcome in his homeland. And I know sometimes you got to bring, send Jonah to Nineveh. And tonight, I want to thank you so much for doing that. But check
Oh,
this out.
thank
You
you for
have a couple
having
of
me.
minutes. Even though we got over by a couple of minutes, it's okay. Take as long as you want. First of all, you're going to tell people how to follow you on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm LaToya Jackson. She's my friend on Facebook. You can see her. You can go to the post that I made where I tagged her name. Just click on it instead of a Facebook request. But Instagram is where she does a lot of her stuff. Follow this woman. She's powerful. She looked like she's 2 years old, but she got kids in college. She's like my sister Dana. She looked like she's 2 years old, but she got kids, out of college, one in medical school. The important thing is this. You need to take a couple of minutes and tell the people why financial literacy is paramount in our communities and why they should be talking to people like you and me. The mic's yours.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. It just really, really goes back to in the beginning. It's understanding your value, understanding the entity that you are, understanding that we are $1 million entities, right? And if you went out today and you purchased a $1 million home, would you go and, put that $250,000 of insurance on? No, you wouldn't, right? So we got to get into a place where we change our mindset, think a little bit differently. Because when you think about what you're doing now, again, to prepare for your future, to prepare for your retirement, or when you just look at yourself, 20 years from now and whatnot, most people, if you really look at it, you're not financially prepared for that. Or even if you think you are, I'll give you the statistics. The annual Social Security Administration, they do a study every year. 54% of Americans at the age of 65 are still dependent on the government. 36% have already died. 5% are still working. People who were saving into those 401k plans and all of those things, they're going back to work. When you walk into a Walmart, when you walk into a grocery store, people who look like they should be living their best financial, best retirement life on an island somewhere, still working, right? Because no one educated them. Only 4% of Americans end up financially stable, not wealthy, just okay. You can pay some bills. You're okay. Maybe take a trip a year. 4%. Right? Only 1% is wealthy, right? So it's time to change that mindset, start doing something completely different. Get the financial literacy that you need, get a wealth strategy completed for you. It's at no cost. It's just a 30-minute session that you can sit down and see what it can look like for you. And when I sit with families and get to see the looks on their faces when they know now that their future is now predictable, where this is the only thing that can make that predictable. We talked about earlier, all these other places where we're putting our money. Yeah, you can make money, but you can lose it. This is the only vehicle. We have all these other insurances. We got, homeowners insurance, car insurance. Hell, we insure everything. Insure everything. We're putting phones, there's a 1 in 50 chance you're going to use that homeowner's insurance. There's a 1 in 8 chance you're going to use that car insurance. There's a 1 in 3 chance you're going to use that health insurance. Life insurance is the only one that you have a 100% guarantee that you will use, but no one has enough of it or has it at all. So it is truly, truly time to change that trajectory and make your future predictable. Make it predictable, not probable. And that's what I will leave you with. But my Instagram is at LN_resources.
At LN_resources. I will put it in the chat after the show as well. The time has come, LaToya. I want you to stay there for a minute. Stay there for a minute after we get the people off. I want to talk to you for just 2 minutes. I know you're busy, but listen, folks. Her name is LaToya Jackson. My name is Terrence Bardui. The show is called Tuesdays with Terrence. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardui. And some people call me, if you're in Dominica, Mr. Badwidl. And you from Dominica, especially La Pointe, Point Michelle, you call me Luku Boy. That's little boy. Whitey Kubuli, the Commonwealth of Dominica. Tall is her body. Dominica made me. Boston raised me. Now the South sustains me. Her name is LaToya Jackson. My name is Mr. Terrence Bardui. LaToya, hang on for a minute. Thank you so much, folks. Listen, guys, I want to tell you guys this. Maynard Thomas is going to sing and tell you guys you don't have to be a star to be on my show. But me and LaToya Jackson, we'll take our show on the road. We can go to different churches. We can go to your community centers. We'll do wherever. We'll do it. And she's down. All right? So I can see the love. I can see great comments in the chat. But as we close, folks, like and share, because you don't have to be a star to be on my show. Although we had a superstar tonight, the real LaToya Jackson. Miss Maynard Thomas, a Point Michelle girl, La Pointe, says, yes, you don't have to be a star to be on my show, but I had a superstar tonight. Thank you, LaToya. We love you. Yes.
Family, come as you are with just your heart, and I'll help you win. Are you rejected or hurt? To me, you're worth much more than you put in.
I don't need no superstar.
Now I don't need no superstar, 'cause I'll accept you as you are.
We had a superstar tonight.
You won't be denied, 'cause I'm satisfied with the help that I can provide. You don't have to be rich family to be on my show. You don't have to have a million family to be on my show.
Boom! The song says you don't have to be a star, you don't have to be you don't have to have a million to be on my show. But listen, folks, on a serious note, Miss Maynard Thomas just sang that song. She wants Miss Jackson to come to and talk to her, the teens that she mentor. Mrs. Bessie Davis, I should say Mrs. Maynard Thomas and Mrs. Bessie Davis says, give me a date. Come and talk to my employees. Come and talk to us. I'll invite my parents. We will set that stuff up. But most importantly, folks, remember, Tuesdays with Terrence is about financial literacy. And I try to bring the best people that I know in my industry. All right. Superstars and heavyweights who can educate you, who can pontificate, teach you how to eradicate debt and just make it right for your family. Listen, there is no reason why we all can't create generational wealth for our families. Let's use people like LaToya Jackson. Next week, Miss LaVisha Davis will be on, another heavyweight. You all better put 2 bulletproof vests on for next week, because this one, she's coming hard too. These women at ACA, American Classic Agency, the company that cares, they're killing it, man. They're killing it. And listen, we want to thank you for your time tonight. So good night, everybody. Robin Martin said, thank you. I enjoy this. Everybody says good night. Everybody says great show. LaToya, you did a great job. Good night, everybody. Like and share. Thank you. Until next Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where my special guest will be Miss LaVisha Davis. Thank you for joining Tuesdays with Terrence. God bless you. And I apologize for going a little over. But you know what? I'm apologizing, but I'm really not apologizing, because Miss Jackson could have gone for 2 hours. You all would have stayed. When I'm on there, you all be leaving by 8:15. So thank you, Miss Jackson. We love you. Good night. Peace. One love. I'm out.